I'm giving away this championship belt once I hit 100,000 subscribers, so go ahead and click subscribe today. Welcome back to the Ango Show. I, of course, am Ango, and today we got a big one. Bronson Reed is set for a big push, and it appears that Bronson Reed is going to be targeting Gunther next for the Intercontinental Championship. There's been rumblings about WWE doing the slow build with Bronson Reed, and honestly, we have actually seen it coming for a while now. Bronson Reed is pretty much featured on TV. He's picking up some good big wins. Obviously, a lot of things are happening in his favor. BWE came out and actually said that Gunther's next challenger appears to be Tsunami, which obviously leads to Bronson Reed. It aligns with a lot of the things that I've heard as well, and the good thing here is that Bronson Reed doesn't need to go over Gunther to actually go over. And this is one of those things I absolutely love about WWE right now. It appears that even when you lose matches, if you give people a good amount of time on TV, they find a way to get over. Chad Gable was a perfect example. I still believe Chad Gable will be the one to dethrone Gunther. I think Ciampa was a very, very good opponent to go after Gunther, which obviously made sense because we got DIY back. But now you bring in Bronson Reed. People are still getting acclimated to him. You know, people are still learning what this guy can do. He's been featured in feuds. He's been featured on TV. And that's all you could really ask for from the WWE. You want this company to put people on TV, give them a chance, and then naturally, the more you feature them, regardless of wins or losses, people will become a fan. And we're starting to see it with Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed probably shouldn't dethrone Gunther, but I'm not going to lie, I would definitely not be mad about it whatsoever. And actually, what I really want WWE to do here, because WWE has been doing a really good job of making the IC title feel important. Literally, it's been like over a year since WWE Raw has seen a title change. Clearly, a lot of that has to do with Seth Rollins and Gunther holding it down. But when you look at Bronson Reed and Gunther, this should be a singles match for Crown Jewel. Give them 20-25 minutes. Give them like a good amount of time and just let them wrestle. Let them do their thing. Let Bronson Reed kind of expose Gunther's weaknesses, and in turn, people will look at him as a very credible threat. And WWE has kind of been doing these championship matches on TV opposed to pay-per-view, and it's a smart strategy because it gets people to watch the TV show. But for this one specifically, I want them to have a pay-per-view match. I think it would show that WWE really means business. I can't wait to see what they do on Raw to get us going there. But Bronson Reed's a hell of an athlete in NXT and in WWE and what we saw in New Japan Pro Wrestling. This guy has a lot of potential. And I will go as far as saying is he will probably be a future World Heavyweight Champion in WWE. I also want to talk about Bobby Roode because according to PW Insider, Bobby Roode is no longer listed on the active WWE roster, and instead he is listed in the company's miscellaneous section. Now keep in mind, Mike Johnson from PW Insider has noted that the section is for legends like Steve Austin and The Rock, or even, injuries, Braun Strowman obviously faced an injury, so now he's on the miscellaneous list. This would pretty much indicate that Bobby Roode isn't going to be wrestling for WWE, at least anytime soon. We kind of known this was expected because of Bobby Roode's serious injuries. Also, we have to be pretty transparent about the fact that he's doing an absolutely great job producing matches in the WWE. That is something that WWE's been trying out for a while now. And it's actually really cool because you'll see a whole bunch of sources come out with who's producing what matches. Petey Williams, Bobby Roode continue to be a very, very great addition to the backstage role. I like Bobby Roode a lot. I think Bobby Roode is a hell of a talent. And of course, I would love to see him wrestle in WWE. I don't want guys who are injured to come back and wrestle and then risk it. You know what I mean? Especially when it's a serious injury. And look, Bobby Roode, such a great talent, but at the same time too, WWE probably views Bobby Roode as a veteran. That's the realistic truth here. I don't think WWE would be in a situation where they necessarily give him like this massive push or anything like that. But the good thing is when you have veterans like the Bobby Roodes of the world, who used to be a world champion for Impact, when you have guys like that in your company, a lot of these NXT call-ups, a lot of these new signings, a lot of these new people who are getting acclimated to the WWE system, Bobby Roode has done it. So there is a lot of benefit for people to learn from Bobby Roode. So yeah, he's been removed from the roster. He's still within the company. But the good news is WWE can still benefit from Bobby Roode being there. And obviously I can't speak for Bobby Roode, but I would like to think that Bobby Roode probably understands the risk of wrestling and everything like that and trying to get cleared and everything. And I hope that Bobby Roode is actually happy with what he's doing, because I think I don't think it's a secret. WWE has improved in their match qualities, but they've also increased the amount of producers that they have, and they started getting a lot of people involved. You see like a whole change within the WWE product from the technical side of things, the production side of things, from the talent side of things, from the wrestling style of things, the creative. It's all cohesive. And if Bobby Roode enjoys being there, I want to see Bobby Roode stay long term. And this brings us to our final story of the day, guys. Some AEW news. Unfortunately, some pretty bad AEW news, and it's kind of unfortunate, but AEW is really struggling with ticket sales. Don't know what the hell has happened, honestly, whatsoever here, and I really just want to have a conversation here. So AEW Dynamite Title Tuesday going head-to-head with NXT. AEW is at the Cable Dahmer Arena in Independence, Missouri, and basically, they've only distributed 2,400 tickets. They're only trying to sell 3,200. Okay, that is really crazy, but that's not where it stops, okay? So the thing is, AEW is struggling to sell tickets. I mean, we're seeing listings for tickets for $10 with, pre-sale codes. And then to make it very very interesting, Collision this past weekend had a setup for 4,100 seats. They only distributed about 2,500 seats. Ricky Starks and Big Bill win the AEW Tag Team Championship belts, and as the camera is on Ricky Starks, you can noticeably see a lot of empty seats, and it's not the hard cam sign. There is some bad things happening when it comes to AEW ticket sales, and it's strange because I feel like right now the product is very hot. Edge is in the company, and they're not selling that many more tickets. You have potential rumors of Mercedes coming into the company. You're not selling that many tickets. They're not even trying to sell that many tickets, and I think that's kind of the issue here, is they're going for these bigger arenas that can seat way, 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 way more people, yet they're only trying to sell very little tickets. I'm curious if AEW should put all of their stock into Dynamite, and then when they do Rampage and Collision, perhaps maybe the strategy should be doing like a studio show. And I know people are going to be weird about this because of the fact that AEW Dark was at Universal Studios, but look how Impact Wrestling used to be in Universal, and that freaking that venue looked packed, visibly packed. And it wasn't that it was visibly packed, but it was the way that it was set up, and that's a benefit from doing studio shows. It's weird. AEW has hit all these new markets. They sell out. They do absolutely great ticket sales. WWE's product that is a very, very, very hot product. They're selling out almost every week. AEW is not. But I can argue that AEW's product creatively doesn't really reflect. I think their product is pretty freaking good creatively right now, to the point where it doesn't make sense that ticket sales are that low. And it doesn't make sense that they're selling tickets for $10. And it seems like they're just trying to do everything possible to get people in there. It's weird. I want to know what you guys think. Don't forget, I'm giving away this belt at $100K.